Fire! Fire! Our ships ablaze in the harbor.
Alright, we've got a ship set on fire up there in the harbor. Earlier on the beach, we picked up something that should help nicely with that.
Bringing a wolf to a hen house.
Nonsense. Listen.
So we'll try to get to this dialogue quickly. What's all this ruckus? Sounds worse than a dozen tomcats fighting over the world's last mackerel. Ah, but I see we suffered another orc landing. And judging by the relative ease in which it was dispatched, I can only come to one conclusion. Source Hunters has arrived in Sicil. You're as welcome to a glass of cooled milk on a hot day, my friend. I am Arhu, at your service. It was I who requested your presence here, this troubled city. You see, I'm Source Hunt. You see, I'm sure Source is tangled in our murder of Counselor Jake. But Captain Orius, commander of Legion in Sicil, insists I see ghosts. I insist he's blind to all but the undead. Concerning Counselor Jake's murder, why are you convinced sorcery was used? It's hard to put my finger on it, but I can feel it in my very whiskers that foul magic was played. Did it seem the crime? And I'll bet sardines for salad. He'll say the same. You can find it in the King Crab Inn, by the way. The scene of where the crime, I mean. The Legion has it under guard. The orcs were dispatched. They were led by a human. A human, you say? Surely. That would be like a kitten leading a wolf pack. And yet I've heard rumors about a sect of sorts. A shadowy set of worshippers that associate even with orcs. Some say they're sorcerers. Other people will say that about anyone who believes a bit of strange nowadays. I don't know quite what make... Look. Thanks a lot, Knock. Now you've got me all flustered. I don't know quite what to make of this news, but thank you for informing me. It would be wise not to dismiss such curious event out of hand. What exactly is trouble you're having with the undead? Ah, the undead. Well, they're Sicil's main threat, aren't they? They've been clawing their way out of the ground for 2 years now. And for 2 years, the stalemate between them and the living has been dragging on at a wary pace, indeed. The Legion did a good job of keeping them at bay, but I think it's fair to say that without my magic-infused ballista, they'd have gotten the better of us by now. Someone's responsible for that outbreak. Necromancers did her work. But who are they, and where do they hide? Alas, searching for them is like searching for a single louse in a lion's mane. From what I've seen and heard, this isn't the first time you've had trouble with marauding orcs. Unfortunately, that's absolutely correct. The orc siege is yet another hairball stuck in the city's already choking throat, and it shows no sign of abating. We've cordoned off the western beach, and most orc activity has been reported. For the 9 lives of me, I can't seem to figure out what they're doing here. Nah, she's nowhere near going to sleep. There's nothing of interest along the waterfront, except for a set of caves with unfavorable reputation. Maybe they're after some fictionist pirate treasure. The fools, ha! I'll take my leave. I'm glad we met, Source Hunter, and I'm certain we've had a lot more to talk about. Feel free to visit me whenever you want. I'll set up a workshop in the Legionnaire headquarters. Once you're there, just take the stairs, but do not pay a visit to Ori first. But do pay a visit to Orius first. He may bark like a beagle, with his tail stuck in the door. But you won't get very far in your investigation without speaking to the de facto leader of Sicil. I wish you luck, Hunter. May your enemies prove to be mere mice, and you the dauntless mouser.
Sorcery, sects, undead, orcs. Looks like we have our work cut out for us.
At least we won't be bored. How about we go see that?
Right, I was trying to rush through that a little bit faster than need be. The ship's not even halfway burned, so it's good to see they slowed down the pace of that greatly.
Orcs have learned how to play with fire.
Go ahead and use our rain scroll. Put the ship out. Then we'll go back here and start looting the town. Whenever something has a gold icon like this, you can loot it freely without worry about it considered stealing. If it turns red, then that means if someone sees you doing it, they're gonna be kind of pissed. This, for example, if I were to pick up any of these items and someone saw me, they would not be too happy. There are a couple ways you can get around stuff like that. Like right now, I'm going to have Asuna distract this guy. Swap over to Kirito. When he's sneaking, his little barrel form here, you see this cone? Those are people's sight radius. So if I try to pickpocket him, it then shows me all the different things that I can take. There's a weight limit, as well as a value of items stolen. In beta, you could only steal from someone one time, no matter how much stuff you took from them. Unless you just didn't take anything. So right now, I'm not going to take anything from him. That way I can come back later with a higher pickpocketing skill and just loot him dry if I felt like it. Or just leave him be. Depends on how you want to play your character. Swap back to our decoy. This guy's apparently upset she had her weapon out. Send out the weapon, or I'll lodge a formal complaint with the Counselor of 7. It was hardly my intention to disturb you. I'll sheath my weapon. Oh, no hard feelings. Just that I much prefer to face a fellow without the threat of losing my head.
Greetings.
And we weren't actually going to be talking to that guy, so we'll just end that conversation there. That's one thing to be careful about, is your characters will randomly decide to take their weapons out, it seems. It's a bit of a pain now and then. Usually you can catch it before you talk to someone.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the lizard counselor's wife. Is that why we never sailed for Youthful Door anymore? Speaking of Youthful Door, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that all teacher loves it.
While we're waiting on Asuna's charge to cool back down, and hopefully we'll be able to get her back out of there.
Is that Bertia still a right beaut?
Yes, as fine a specimen as one of her stock, sir. Greetings.
Our home, our livelihood, all sunk in a matter of minutes. All we could do not but look on. Tell me about yourselves. Well, we were merchants. What seemed like moments ago, with our ship sunk, a little more than 3 men without nothing more to say than boo. What happened here? Those bleeding orcs, they can't keep off this place for the life of them. They came in here slinging fireballs and swinging swords. Wasn't a thing we could do to defend ourselves. About finding work. With our ship gone, nothing for it but to get a job. Slim pickings around here, that's for sure. Maybe you can keep an eye out, though. How about that burning ship? That was a right stunning show of magic he pulled off, it was. We should have been around when our own barge went down in flames. I'll take my leave. That gives us the shipless sailor's quest.
That loopy legionnaire really thinks that orky
Should have given her time to cool off on that. See if we can indeed get her out of there.
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Ferrol's carriage for
Sailor,
a joyride?
what news from the mainland?
No, it ain't news.
We drove it straight to the pub.
Skeletons. You know the story. Don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to youthful gore anymore?
These always found kind of interesting. You would assume these are
As soon as we're packed up.
his bags and stuff sitting around, but he doesn't care at all if you take anything from them. Another waypoint there.
And then I said to him, I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece an hour, I'll walk out loud.
One day you'll show 'em off.
Potion out of a back page circular from youthful gore.
Greetings.
Ah, who better than a proven orc crusher to convince my dumbbell of a friend here that orcs are predators, not pets? Enough of that. I know how dangerous an orc can be. This one has been reformed. Anyone can see she's been completely docile. But my prejudiced friend here wants to kill her. Tell me about yourselves. Maybe before the great orc raid we had time to indulge Ninnius idiotic obsessions. But now we're needed at our post. I can hardly believe I've been wasting my time protecting an orc when I should be running through them, or running them through. Excuse my friend's violent outburst. He hasn't enjoyed a woman's touch in quite a while now. It's made him a bit edgy. Your woman's touch is less of a loving caress and more of a claw. Change blue through your throat. I'll take my chances as a bachelor, thanks. What's this about a charmed orc? My friend here and I were patrolling outside the city walls. When who did I see creeping along the shore but this lovely orcish lady? For a brief second, as long as eternity, we locked eyes. Perhaps confused by the butterflies in her stomach, she sprang up and began running, claws bared towards Marius. Fortunately for him, I had the presence of mind to ignore my sword and instead adoringly fling my pouch of trinkets toward her. A vial of love potion shattered over her head, and when she turned to face me, she became instantly enamored. I'm sure she must have been compelled to join the orcish army under some kind of duress. A lady of such sweetly savage manner would never willingly join up those violent marauders. Ha! I can assure you, there wasn't a hint of sweetness in those murderous eyes when she lunged at my throat. She may be confined here for now, but who's telling when she'll escape, and who she'll rip to shreds? Love potion. Tell me more. Ah, I've always had an amateur interest in all things alchemical. When I read an esteemed periodical from a wizard of youthful gore, about an amazing opportunity that could change my life. I had to act fast, or lose a once-in-a-lifetime deal. Sounds quite legit, right? I sent away for the world-famous love potion. Available for a limited time only, and it has worked exactly as promised. It's quite a sales pitch. You see what a fool my friend has been? Spending all his cash on snake oil and bringing a temporarily tranquilized monster into the midst to boot. What kind of monster would lie in a... What kind of monster would lie in a published advertisement? I'm sure the effects of the potion will be everlasting, as promised. I'll tell you what I think. You see, he believes it was noon at midnight if you read it on a pyramid pamphlet. Please tell me you can reason with him, or ditch reason and use your sword to save him from this murderous darling. Well, Kirito's not going to be too happy with that. Being a rogue, he's all too familiar with shady deals and such. She's got to be put down. The love's potion, as dodgy as it sounds, she could come to her vicious senses at any time. Asuna won't be quite of the same mind. What's the point in causing more pain to this beleaguered city? Question her and see what comes of it. You must realize that if Sora gets loose in the city, we're the ones who have to put her down and deal with the bloody aftermath. Think of the intel this creature could provide. And if she begins to revert, these men are armed. They'll be able to subdue her. Alright, now we'll see which one of them actually gets their way in this particular situation. Definitely seemed like Asuna figured out Kirito's pattern from the last dialogue. And it appears to be very persuasive this time. Alright, well. Alright, we'll do it your way. Bravo! I trust not only the potion, but my scary sweetheart in and of herself. You're going to regret this. We're all going to regret this.
Bye.
We'll pay them a visit back later and see how they're doing. Another one of the kind of oddities you would assume to be stealing. The worker right here. Once again, you would assume it's her fish. I guess we're just very persuasive source hunters and she offers some to us.
Rotten sea garbage.
Or as you can hear right there, slimy, reeking, rotting sea garbage. I can only assume she was talking to us about taking her fish. Or that was just very well timed.
But I've got the baddest of the lot in my racks.
Oh, I'm not sure why that lit up red for a minute. Right. I think we're just about done with the harbor, so now we'll start heading toward the first city. Double check your quest log, make sure we're not missing anything. Looks like we are set. This is one of those chests that you can get to it fairly early on in the game. There's a hatch right here. I'm not going to spoil where it leads to just yet. Or if you have certain abilities, you can access it right now. Bit of extra loot early on. Nothing important, nothing game breaking. Then if you use this particular ability, you just have to wait to get back up again. Oh, before I forget, since we are level 2 now, equipped a slightly better dagger. See if we have any two-handers. We'll go ahead and throw that bow in our hotbar in case we come into situations where we need it. I don't believe I have enough crafting yet to make these into arrows. No, I don't. Send the two-handers to Asuna. Strength armor, so I'll send that to her as well. Sword, this takes me ender trash. Found a repair hammer already. That's actually pretty beneficial since they're both melee. They're actually going to be losing durability off their weapons unlike a caster would. Get our recipe from that book. I believe we already read this one. Okay, we do not have a magnifying glass, so we can't identify these. That's quite a damage difference. While this one has a little more armor, we're going to miss in a lot of elemental resistances, so 5% we can probably deal with. Alright, before we continue on, I'm going to take a quick break, 2-3 minutes, and I shall be right back.